Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. First, the headlines. Federal government resolute to no work, no pay to doctors. 10 charged with terrorism in 4 billion naira illegal arms import. Abducted Tanzania opposition official found dead. And on spot, Roy admits Eagles superiority. Now the news in detail. The federal government appears resolute to implement its no work, no pay rule against members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors who embarked on a 7-day strike recently. The doctors embarked on the one in protest against the government's failure to rescue their colleague Ganiat Popolu Olawale, who was abducted along with her husband and nephew on December 27 last year. 3 days after the strike began, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare threatened to enforce the no work, no pay policy against the striking doctors. The ministry expressed disappointment that the union went on strike despite being informed of ongoing efforts to address the situation. The federal government, through the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, will today arraign 10 suspects for terrorism over their alleged connection with the 4 billion naira illegal firearms and ammunition imported into the country in June. Reports stated that on Sunday, the Arms Center had concluded its investigation into the large cage of arms and ammunition intercepted by the Nigerian Customs Service in Port Harcourt in June. The Nigerian Customs had, during one of its operations in June, intercepted a 40-foot container loaded with 844 rifles and 112,500 live ammunition at the unnamed port in Port Harcourt. The arms and ammunition were said to have been skillfully concealed within items such as doors, furniture, plumbing fittings, and leather bags. The intercepted container was also reported to have originated from Turkey, and its duty-paid value was put at 4 billion naira. The news source at the center told correspondent that 10 suspects arrested in Abuja in connection with the importation of arms and ammunition would be charged in court today. 100 feared dead in tanker explosion in Niger State. No fewer than 100 people have been reportedly burnt alive in a tanker explosion in Niger State. Besides those feared dead, no fewer than 50 cattle were burnt in ashes during the accident which happened on the Lapai-Agui Road yesterday. Newsmen gathered that a petrol tanker loaded with petrol collided with another trailer loaded with some passengers and cows, causing a huge explosion. Villagers who spoke with correspondents confirmed that no fewer than 100 people were confirmed burnt in the inferno. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency said 30 people have been confirmed dead, while the rescue operation was still ongoing. Meanwhile, Governor Mohammed Bago of the state has expressed sadness over the loss of lives and property in the explosion. In a statement by his chief press secretary, Bolugi Ibrahim, the governor said he was pained by the unfortunate incident and the colossal loss recorded. The governor called for calm by the residents of the affected area and enjoined road users to always be cautious and abide by road traffic regulations to safeguard lives and property. Let's have you know that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has intercepted consignment of cocaine and pharmaceutical opioids concealed in ladies' sanitary pads and hair treatment cream containers heading to the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Cyprus. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi, in a statement on Sunday, said the illegal drugs were intercepted at 3 courier firms in Lagos. According to the NDLEA, in one of the logistic companies, not less than 30 parcels of cocaine weighing 1.1 kilograms concealed in hair cream containers were recovered by its officers of the Directorate of Operations and General Investigation during examination of cargoes going to Ireland on Tuesday, September 3rd. When we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Algerian authorities declared President Abdelmadjid Tebboune the overwhelming winner of Saturday's election on Sunday but a rival candidate alleged irregularities in the count and fewer than half of the registered voters cast ballots. Official preliminary results gave Tebboune 95% of the vote, enough to avoid the second-round runoff, with Abdullahi Hassani getting 3% and Youssef Auchi 2%. Turnout was 48%. Tebboune, backed by the military, was facing only nominal opposition from Hassani Sharif, a moderate Islamist, and Al-Shishi, a moderate secularist, both running with the blessings of Algeria's powerful establishments. At the China-Ghana Business Forum in China on September 7, 2024, President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo made a compelling case of increased Chinese investment in Ghana. Addressing the gathering of Chinese business leaders, the president emphasized the long-standing relationship between Ghana and China, as well as the significant investment opportunities available in sectors ranging from manufacturing to agriculture and green energy. Opening his speech with a Chinese proverb, President Akufo-Addo symbolized Ghana's desire to work hand-in-hand with China on the path to long-term economic progress. He stressed Ghana's determination to learn from China's success and deepen ties with its business community for mutual prosperity. We move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. At least 18 young children have died and 27 others have been hospitalized after a fire ripped through the dormitory at their primary school in central Kenya overnight on the 5th Thursday. Late on Friday 6th, the death toll went up after one student died of an injury at the hospital. Police said the blaze at Hillstv and Darasha Academy in Nyeri County broke out just after midnight on Friday, engulfing the dormitory where more than 150 boys between the ages of 10 and 14 were sleeping. Since most of the school's buildings are made using wooden planks, the fire spread very fast. With at least 70 children unaccounted for, local authorities expect the death toll to rise, although some of them might have gone home with families for the night. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has urged community members who may have sheltered some of the children to bring them back so that they can be accounted for. The school, which has 824 students, is located in the country's central highlands, 200 kilometers north of the capital, Nairobi. Many families have been left waiting anxiously to be reunited with their children, with one parent saying they had been given very little information. At least 31 people have been killed and 100 wounded since the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces renewed an assault on the city of Sennar in southeastern Sudan on Sunday, a legal activist group said. Several parts of the city, including the main market, have been targeted by RSF artillery fire, said emergency lawyers, which has monitored civilian deaths and other humanitarian violations. The progress of the RSF, which most of Sennar and at least half of the country, has slowed in the southeast as heavy rains have made movement difficult. Its war with Sudan's army has created the world's largest hunger and internal displacement crisis, killing tens of thousands of civilians and destroying most of Sudan's infrastructure and economy. Emergency lawyers said the army had killed at least 4 people in Al-Sawki, a town near Sennar, during airstrikes. The RSF killed 1 person and wounded 17 artillery strikes on El Obeid, another town it has struggled to assess full control of. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back. And now on business news, the Nigeria Labour Congress and former Vice President Abubakar Atiku warned that the increase in petrol price by the federal government has put most Nigerians at a breaking point. This came as human rights lawyer Femi Falana yesterday urged the federal government to ensure the completion of rehabilitation of the nation's refineries by September 2024 or take legal action against the contractors for breaching their contracts. This is even as the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, also yesterday asked President Bola Tinubu to direct the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to immediately reverse the apparently illegal and unconstitutional hike in the pump price of petrol across its retail outlets. While the NLC asked Nigerians to revolt against the price hike, Atiku said the situation of the average Nigerian and the economy will be further compounded by plans by the government to increase value-added tax coming on the heels of the recent hike in petrol price. NLC, which insisted on the reversal of the price increase, specifically called on Nigerians to join the government's quest to interrogate the horrifying petrol price hike. SEC warned against infractions in capital markets. The Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission, Emomotimi Agama, has stated that the Commission will enforce the full extent of the law against individuals and entities that engage in activities that violate established regulations in the capital market. A statement by SEC on Sunday by Agama, who stated this in Abuja during the weekend, said that the Commission is committed to protecting investors, including those in crypto space, and therefore enjoins the market to play by the rules. According to Agama, he said they were certainly going to commence enforcement actions on anyone who wants to operate in this market and does not have the intention of being regulated. The DG disclosed that the Commission decided to take the recent step of ensuring approval in principles to 2 crypto exchanges because it observed that Nigerian youth were becoming increasingly interested in the digital space, and so it was important to provide regulation, clarity, and indeed the protection of investors, which is primary responsibility. Still to come, sports. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv.
Thanks for staying with us. And on sports news, Benin Republic head coach Gernot Rohr has admitted the gulfing class between his players and the Super Eagles counterpart following their 3-0 defeat against Nigeria in the first 2025 AFCON qualifying match in Uyo on Saturday. A brace from 2024 Ballon d'Or nominee Ademola Lookman, plus another strike from reigning African Player of the Year Victor Osimhen, gave Nigeria the victory. It was also a sweet revenge for Nigerians, having lost their last game 2-1 against the Benin Republic in June. Roy, a former Super Eagles coach, waxed lyrically about his team's victory against Nigeria during the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, but he was quick to admit that class is permanent after Saturday's game. A total of 259 athletes and officials from Abia State will depart Umuahia on Tuesday for the 8th National Youth Games holding in Asaba, Delta State. Abia will participate in 28 out of 36 approved sports for this year's Under-15 National Youth Games, which will hold from 9 to 19 September. Speaking to journalists over the weekend on the state plans, Abia State Director of Sport, Obioma George, said that with the state competing in 28 out of 36 different sports and with a high level of preparations and equipping of athletes and officials, they will return from the National Youth Games in flying colors. Super Eagles captain William Trust Ekong has expressed confidence in interim coach Augustine Eguepon to lead the team to the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, report stated. Trust Ekong's statement allowed the 3-time Africa champions 3-0 victory over the Benin Republic in their first game of the AFCON qualifiers at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo on Saturday. Amid uncertainties surrounding who the next Eagles coach will be, the Nigerian Football Federation appointed Eguepon as the interim coach after German coach Bruno Labbadia sensationally returned down the offer last week. It was not an unfamiliar position for the former defender, as he had previous stints with the team, the most recent of which was in 2023, when he led them to the 2021 AFCON in Cameroon, following the sacking of Gernot Rohr. And that's the sport news on Africa Today. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this oh,
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome back. And now to the rest of the news. The body of a senior Tanzania opposition official abducted from a bus by armed men was found on the outskirts of commercial capital Dar es Salaam, with signs he had been beaten and acid had been poured on his face, his party said. The killing of Ali Kibau, a member of the secretariat of the main opposition Chadema party, maintained the reformist image of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who has tried to ease repression since succeeding John Magufuli, who died in office 3 years ago. Kibau's body was found on Saturday morning, a day after two armed men removed him from a bus traveling from Dar es Salaam to the northeastern port city of Tanga. Chadema chairman Freeman Mbowe told journalists late on Sunday. And that's Africa Today, but before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that federal government resolute to no work, no pay to doctors. 10 charged with terrorism in 4 billion naira illegal arms import. Abducted Tanzania opposition official found dead. And on sport, Roy admits Eagles' superiority. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. Thanks for watching.